All right, so we spent some time in this lesson so far multiplying monomials to binomials and trinomials, basically just using the distributive property. Now, the next type of multiplying that we're going to talk about, this is section 2. This is multiplying binomials and trinomials. All right, so we can't distribute necessarily because a binomial has two terms. So that means you would like be distributing twice and it could get kind of messy. So to multiply these type of polynomials, we're going to kind of take it a little old school. The way that you used to multiply when you were in elementary school, where you had to line up everything vertically. So check this out, okay? For example, 2. I'm going to give you a binomial times a trinomial. Now, usually 9 times out of 10, this is the way it's going to be written. It doesn't matter the order because you're multiplying, so don't get caught up into that. But what we're going to do is set up these two polynomials vertically, and we're going to multiply the way that you did when you were like in the 4th and 5th grade. So if you remember, back then, you always put the larger number on top. So I'm going to put the larger trinomial on top. And then I'm going to line up my binomial right under the trinomial, just like that. And if you notice, my constants are lined up and my x terms are lined up. And if I had an x squared, it'd probably be lined up like that as well. So then I'm going to draw my line, and y'all should be drawing your line, and then we're going to multiply. You're going to start with your -3, and everything above is going to be multiplied by -3. The only difference is you're not going to be carrying your 1 and all that you had to do back then. It's just simply getting your information organized. So let's try it. -3 times -6 is +18. So I'm going to put it right there under the constant. Don't forget your sign. Whatever the sign is, you got to write it down, okay? Now, let's go to the next term. -3 times +x. Well, you know there's an invisible 1 right here. So -3 times +1 is just a -3, and then you just pop that x on the back. And then we do it one more time. -3 times 3x squared. Well, -3 times -3 is just -9. And then you pop that x squared on the end. So what we just did was we just multiplied everything in this top polynomial by -3, setting it up old school. Let's do the same thing with the 2x. But if you remember in elementary school, whenever you went to the second place, the number in the second place, what did you always put right here under your first place? A 0, right? So you got to put a 0 here. And then we start. 2x times -6 is -12 times x. 2 times -6 is -12, right? Okay. 2x times 1x. Now pay attention because now I have 2 times 1 and x times x. So that's a positive. Notice I put my positive sign. 2, and then x times x is x squared. Got it? Okay, so I'm trying to take it slow. 2x times 3x squared. Well, let's just take care of the 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. I know that. And it's a +6. X times x squared, well, that's just counting your x's. You have 2 x's here plus 1 more x there. That's x cubed. All right, so you see what I did? Multiplied everything, have it nice lined up, nice and pretty. I draw my line, and this like you would in elementary school, you're going to add your columns. So this becomes a +18. -3 minus 12 is a -15x. No x squared, ladies and gentlemen, because we're adding and subtracting. -9 plus 2 is -7x squared. And then I just bring down my 6x cubed because I have nothing to add it to. Box it, and we're done. Now, this is going to be one of those units, one of these concepts that I'm curious to see how many of you guys are going to push yourselves to get this right. It is not easy, but it's not the most challenging thing you're ever going to see. So in the next video, I'm going to do another example or two.